There, welcome back to History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to get into episode 3 of volume 11 of my Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks scrapbooks, and we're continuing on with more Tango in the Night stuff. This Nick's first page should have kind of gone with the other stuff, is that it had still some points to make with that press conference that I had brought up in the last video. I was noticing that this is a repeat of which I read out in, I think, video 1 of this volume. This was a nice review out of, not sure, I want to say Rolling Stone, but that doesn't mean anything. And then this unique little piece here, this piece and this here were out of Pulse magazine from Tower Records. And then our ever favorite, the Mac is back. Fleetwood Mac's back with Tango in the Night. Look for our ad in this issue and take any 12 albums for just 1 penny. Gotta love Columbia House. And then this really cute little photo here. Could just barely make her out. It was something in someone's scrapbook I got one time. There's a whole bunch, and you'll find them. I call them these little phantom photos. They're all over. I love them. I mean, even though they're itty bitty, you still see her there. And if I had taken them, if they're the ones I have, I would have completely valued them, even though they're, microscopic. Which is kind of a cool, different little articles out at that time. Not the typical ones, from all the magazines we normally see. This is one I just don't come across very much out of Pulse magazine. And then this one I think was from Rock Express, I think. This one was definitely from Rock Express, and this was prior to the band going out on tour that Lindsey Buckingham was saying negotiations are still happening, which I thought was unusual. Here's another one of those little phantom photos. Then this little clipping from Cream magazine. Then there's so many of these in all my books. The Westwood one radio, because they were promoting it, and there are some records that came out from them because of the radio shows. But then they were also doing a really large giveaway at that point. They were giving away a lot of tickets and stuff. So almost every magazine for some time had a big ad by Westwood One promoting it or talking about them going on tour or the giveaway. This little article, Fleetwood Mac, there have been ups and downs emotionally, but when the chips are down, we all love each other very much, and that's what I think is possible. That's why I think it's possible to continue, says Mick Fleetwood. Don't know what that's from. Next up, we have the Big Love sheet music, and just kind of a random little photo that I had of Stevie and Christine. Then we have the Little Lies sheet music, and some random, kind of grainy. This one is super grainy. Copies of, I think these are just internet copies. Again, I think a friend of mine, these are different than the other ones that from the video that I had to pull, but these ones I'm sure are just online. I'm sure of it, because they're really not clear at all. Yeah. Now, I was telling you about some of the really nice Christine photos that I have, and I mean, I have nice photos, I think, of everybody, but there's just some really spectacular Christine photos, and these are some of them coming up here. And let's see if I have who these are by. Oh, this is one of those ones that would have been in the books. It does not say who this is by, which is unfortunate. So pretty, though. I think this is one of the ones used in the tour book, maybe. Well, I know that there is one, but is it this one or? I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm surprised at still how many of these I have that are from the Mick Fleetwood's book, which I mentioned so many times with these little pieces attached to them still. Then this one. Gorgeous. Love this picture. This is one I took when I was hoping to meet her, and when she ended up signing what she signed for me from the stage. This is one I had as well that I would have loved to have had her sign. It was tough to, it is, first of all, if you're lucky to meet anybody, right? Just what do you want signed? You never know what you want. And, there's some really great shots here. And, this one, one's with the band, one's with her and Stevie. And this one is one of my favorites, even though it's not as clear. And it's from this here. From the Seven Wonders video. But like I said, it's not as clear as the others. And all of these just have stuff like this on the back. But yeah, that's a nice little companion piece there. So as though those weren't great pictures of Christine, we've got some really nice pictures of Stevie coming up. Not that we don't have a ton of really nice pictures of Stevie, but these are some really pretty ones as well, I think. One of the prettier sessions. And this is the same, I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe it's Neil Preston. Maybe it's Aaron, I'm not sure. This one doesn't have either. No, nothing on the back of that. Then onto a completely different, such a different image like this. She's so beautiful here, right? And it's such a, just again, encapsulates the Stevie persona. And then you have this entirely different outfit and different look, and it's the same thing. It's completely Stevie. I mean, how can you get such two different looks and be so? I mean, even this one, I can get Rhiannon and Gold Dust Woman, even though it's more whimsical and more, more easygoing, if you will. And then who didn't want? I know a friend of mine had one, but this skirt was by Bessie Johnson, and I know that damn near every woman who was a Stevie fan in the '80s wanted this Bessie Johnson skirt. And some more from this session here. such a different look, black and white to color, I think. But I absolutely love them. Although I like this one a lot, I think these two coming up are two of my favorites of the session here. This was a really odd little card I got. It's not a card, but I mean, like kind of card stock, if you will. Can kind of hear it. Yeah, but it's an odd size. And this one is the same kind of paper, but this is a standard size here for a promo picture. I don't know. I guess this could have come off the. It's not a even though it has the black line down here, it's not a from a proof sheet, but sorry about that. So we're going to bring some of the band in, and just now trying to put that card back in there, I dropped this one out of there. This one I got a long time ago, and in getting it, like I hadn't been out in the car or I was looking at it or something like that, and I got that scratch on it. And I'm telling you what, I mean, at the time when I got this, it was obviously, I don't think it was in 87, but you know, whatever. I had a tantrum. I had a freaking tantrum like a little kid because I marred that photo, and I tried so hard. I just didn't know what to do to get rid of it. And now obviously I have all these other photos and outtakes, but oh my God, it was just, I was so mad at myself. And it's something stupid, like it just, you know, very accidental, like another piece of paper went across it or something, or my jewelry, or I have no idea, but I was just so bummed. I think I just spent not a lot of money, but you know, at the time, and you know, before eBay had really come along, I could only get so many photos at a time when I would go down to LA, and that's where I got it. And, but yeah, just remember in injuring it, just, oh, I felt terrible. So mad. So funny. Unusual little photo of Christine there. Here's one more of those things I was talking about earlier with the last video. I forgot that I had this one when I was talking about those weird little newspaper type print things that they keep in their files and such. This one is advanced for weekend editions, August 7th through the 9th, with story slugged. I wonder what that means, slugged. Does anybody know what that term means I'm guessing in journalism? Fleetwood Mac still together. Fleetwood Mac, 20 years after it made its performing debut and 5 years after it cut its last studio album, has again recorded an album, Tango the Night, and discovered that Fleetwood Mac is still in demand. Various group members have expressed interest in a tour, shown from left to right, are John, Chris, Lindsay, with an A, Lindsay, drives me nuts, Stevie Nicks, Mick Fleetwood. Does anybody know who Chloe Webb is? That's what she looks like in that picture, I think. Chloe Webb for me was she's a great little actress, and she was pretty popular in the 80s. And she was in China Beach, and she was in Twins with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. She was one of the girlfriends. But for me, I'm a huge fan of the movie Sid and Nancy. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. and she played Nancy Spungman to Gary Oldman, my secret, don't tell anybody, my husband, from another time. Just kidding. One of his, where I first really learned about Gary Oldman and became a real big fan of him. But I just always think that she looks like Chloe Webb in that photo. I think it's going to wrap it up. I didn't mean to go through so many, but because there was just a few of Chris in those photos and some were so big, I kind of went through more pages than I normally would. So that'll do it for this episode, and we'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed everything. And I think, I'll wrap this up probably in about 2, possibly 3 more videos. So we'll see. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye.